The hunger is a hollow thing, a cold stone in the gut of each of the 12. It scrapes the inside of their ribs. For 3 sons, it has been their only constant companion in this prehistoric world, a more faithful shadow than their own. They are the people of the dry grass, a clan of Australopithecus whose world is shrinking to the size of their empty bellies. The matriarch relaxes, feels the tremors of weakness in her own thin legs, but her eyes, deep set in a wrinkled face, miss nothing. They are fixed on the tracks in the ochre dust ahead, tracks that are the only promise of food. They are not the tracks of prey, they are the tracks of hunters. The clan moves in a staggered line, a study in silent, desperate hope. Kale, a young male with powerful shoulders and an unscarred face, walks point. He moves with a low crouch, his knuckles brushing the parched turf, a sharpened stone clutched in his right hand. Every few steps he freezes, his head cocked, nostrils flaring to catch a scent on the wind that is anything other than dust in their unsar fear. Behind him, mothers clutch their young, hands ready to clamp over a mouth at the first whimper. This is the first and hardest lesson of their hominid history: silence is survival. To make a sound is to paint a target on the clan. This is the unforgiving nature of prehistoric life. They follow the killers, the Utahraptor pack, 6 of them, a fluid unit of feathered death. The people saw them at dawn, a flash of mottled brown and cruel intelligence sweeping through the fern groves. Now, the clan stalks them, keeping a ridge between themselves and the pack. It is a desperate, insane strategy born from an empty larder. They cannot hunt the great beasts themselves. Their survival skills are those of the opportunist, the thief. They are not yet the great hunters that ancient humans will one day become. They are scavengers, and to eat, they must follow the true masters of this land, the dinosaurs, and pray for scraps. Lua knows the risk. Every step is a gamble against the raptor's keen senses. The truth about dinosaurs is not that they are mindless monsters. It is that they are perfect, and the people are soft, slow, and fragile. The sun beats down, and a child stumbles, its cry a thin blade of sound in the oppressive heat. Instantly, its mother scoops it up, her hand firm over its mouth, her eyes wide with terror, scanning the horizon. The clan freezes, becoming statues of sun-baked mud and fear. They wait, listening for the answering screech, the sound of tearing claws on dry ground. Nothing. The wind whispers. Kel gives a low, almost inaudible grunt and points. The raptors have cornered their prize, a lone, juvenile triceratops, separated from its herd. The hunt is about to begin. The feast, and the clan's only chance, is about to be served. And for these early humans, the price of admission will be courage measured in heartbeats, a theft from the very jaws of oblivion. The end for the juvenile triceratops is swift and merciless. Its bellow of terror is cut short as the Utahraptor pack descends, a whirlwind of sickle claws and snapping jaws. They are a perfectly coordinated engine of destruction. One raptor latches onto the frill, pulling the head down, while the others disembowel it with methodical, ghastly kicks. The sounds, the wet tear of hide, the grating crunch of bone, carry on the hot wind to the ridge where the people watch. A coppery tang that promises life is a torment. It makes the cold stone of hunger in their bellies twist into a sharp-edged blade. For a moment, despair washes over the clan. The feast is there, just beyond a curtain of certain death, to approach his suicide. But Liu sees something else. As the pack leader rips a great sheet of muscle from a carcass, its weight causes a small rock to dislodge from beneath the Triceratops' flailing leg. It skitters across the clearing and clatters against the rock face of the fire canyon wall. The sound is sharp, alien. Instantly, all 6 raptors freeze. Their heads, reptilian and bird-like, snap in perfect unison toward the source of the noise. Their feeding is forgotten. They are statues of poised aggression, yellow eyes scanning the cliff for a threat, a challenger, a new variable. Then, satisfied it was nothing, they return to their gory work. But Lua has seen it. A flicker, a crack in their perfect predatory focus. An idea, sharp and dangerous as a shard of obsidian, forms in her mind. It is a plan born not of strength, but of wit, the cornerstone of hominid history. She turns from the ledge, her movements small and precise. She catches Kayla's eye, then holds up a smooth river stone. She points to the distant cliff face, then mimes a powerful, overhand throw. Her other hand makes a swift, snatching gesture near her mouth. The language is simple, universal. Sound there, food here. Kale understands immediately. His eyes widen, first in disbelief, then with a dawning, terrifying resolve. The matriarch's gaze sweeps across the others, to more males, lean and fat, nod in understanding. They are the best throwers, their arms conditioned by a lifetime of driving away lesser scavengers. This is their primitive technology in its purest form. Not just a tool, but the tactical application of a tool to manipulate a world that wants them dead. The choice is made without a sound. It is a silent pact written in the shared language of desperation. Kale will be the runner. He checks the sharpened edge of a horn core tied to his wrist, an osteodontocratic blade that is his only weapon and tool. The risk is absolute. If the timing is off by a heartbeat, Kale will be swarmed. If the raptors fail to take the bait, he is a dead man. Yet, no one hesitates. To remain on the ridge is to choose the slow, certain death of starvation. To go down there is to gamble on a quick death for the chance, however slim, of life. Lua gives a single sharp nod. The emotional tide has turned. They are no longer just watching. They are hunting the hunt. The world shrinks to the sound of Kale's own heart, a frantic drum against his ribs. He lies flat on the warm rock of the ridge, peering through a scraggly bush. Below, the raptors feast. The air is thick with the sounds of their feeding, a wet, brutal symphony. Beside him, Oti and Dren clutch their throwing stones, their knuckles white. This is the moment where foresight becomes action, where a desperate idea becomes a life-or-death ballet. Lua meets Kale's gaze and gives a single, sharp nod. Oti rises to a crouch, his body a coiled spring of sinew. He does not aim for the raptors. He aims for the cliff face 100 paces beyond them. The stone flies, a dark speck against the harsh blue sky. It strikes the rock with a loud, sharp crack that echoes across the clearing. Just as Lua observed, the effect is instantaneous. 6 feathered heads snap up, their feeding forgots poised, eyes scanning the cliff for the source of the challenge. They are momentarily bewitched, their predatory brains locked onto a phantom threat. That is Kale's window. He is a ghost, a flicker of motion, half scrambling, half falling down the scree slope. His bare feet barely seem to touch the scorching ground. The 60 paces to the carcass feel like a journey across the face of the sun. He reaches the body of the Triceratops, the stench of blood and viscera overwhelming. The raptors are still staring at the cliff, hissing, confused. Kale wastes no time. He targets a half-severed foral, the thickest piece of meat he can hope to carry. He begins hacking at the joint with his osteodontocratic horn blade. The sinews are like leather cables. It's too slow. He can hear the raptors shifting, their distraction waning. From the ridge, Ren sees it. Without a signal, he throws his stone. It strikes higher up the cliff, a second, sharp as crack. The raptors flinch, their attention pulled again. It is an act of pure altruism, buying seconds for Kale at the risk of exposing their position. The sound gives Kale the time he needs. With a final, desperate trench, the leg tears free. It is heavy, slick with blood, but it is life. He turns and runs, dragging the massive limb behind him, leaving a crimson rail in the dust. The spell is broken. Bay raptor turns, its head cocked, and sees him. It lets out a piercing shriek, a sound of pure fury. The chase is on. Kale doesn't look back. He can hear the thudding footfalls behind him gaining. He scrambles up the slope, his lungs burning, his only thought the desperate faces of his clan above. Hands reach down, grabbing him, grabbing the meat, and hauling both over the ledge just as the lead raptor leaps, its claws scraping uselessly against the rock below. They do not celebrate. They huddle in the shade of an overhang, tearing at the raw meat with teeth and stone flakes. The silence broken only by the sounds of desperate eating. The blood on their faces is a mask of survival. This was not the story of a heist, an act of intellectual larceny against the brutal kings of this ancient earth. Looking down from their perch, they can see the raptors finishing the carcass, occasionally glancing up as if pondering the strange, soft-skinned thieves who stole from their table and vanished. The clan did not win a battle. They successfully manipulated the physics of sound and the neurology of a predator. In the shadow of titans, the first spark of a new kind of power was kindled, a power that did not rely on keratin, no US claws or serrated teeth, but on observation, cooperation, and the courage to gamble everything on a thought. This is the quiet, unwritten genesis of our ascent. How many times in the deep past did this silent, desperate calculus of risk and reward, of sound and fear become the bedrock of human evolution, the act that ensured our human ancestors would live to see another dawn? This is the chronicle of the echo, the memory of the teeth, and the dawn of the mind. But the sky holds terrors that do not leave tracks in the dust.